Hi everyone. So before starting this video, I just want to say that I do not recommend these Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo and Realme sort of phones which has heavy skin over Android and a lot of bloatware. And another reason is software and privacy, which are very important to me over a good hardware. That being said, I did not use this phone with any of my personal data or used any of my personal account on this. I am just testing this phone as a tech enthusiast and for those people who want a good hardware with less price. And also I was getting bored with buying Samsung over and over again. So let's unbox it. Inside the box we get USB-C to 3.5mm jack adapter, a transparent case which is okay, the phone itself, a USB-A to C cable and a 33-watt charger. So I ordered the Celeste silver because the black color was glossy and white was just white. And I like the silver color, it's just not silver, it shows a different sort of color in different lighting. And I also like the in-hand feel of this phone, it's a very slim device. It has a soft finish on the back, which is glass by the way, but I couldn't find which kind of protection is on the back. On the front you get Gorilla Glass 5 and there's a screen protector, but it's not aligned with the front camera. The camera punch hole is small and there is a stupid silver ring which makes your device look cheap. The frame is plastic, so it doesn't feel like that when you hold it, but when you look at it, it does feel a bit cheap from the top and bottom. On the top you have a speaker grill, mic and infrared port. On the right side you have the volume button and power button. On the bottom there's a SIM tray and another speaker grill. There's no 3.5mm jack, but you have the dongle in the box itself and there's no expandable storage. It does not feel heavy in the end and it's a very thin device, but it's a very big device, and also it gets a lot of fingerprint even though it's a matte sort of finish. As I said, I'm using my secondary SIM which was in my Pixel 4a. I did not copy any data. It was a fresh install with a new Gmail account. I turned off everything if it was optional, and I didn't share any location or data as well. The phone also supports Wi-Fi 6 and carrier aggregation, but I will talk about that later. The first thing I did was enable dark mode, set the refresh rate to 120Hz and update the MIUI to 12.04. I mean, I could stretch this video talking about the performance, camera, display and sound quality, but we all know why we are here, to talk about that software itself. So it comes with Android 11 out of the box. For some reason I was expecting Google Discover on the left side. I don't know why, maybe I saw that in a Poco F3 video. So if anyone knows how to enable it, please let me know. I don't like the MIUI launcher and icon. I actually don't even like the One UI icons as well, but this was more cartoonish. So I installed the Poco launcher because many of you suggested that, but I wasted a lot of time trying to fix that gesture. After some time I realized that the gestures will not work even with the Poco launcher. It was a sad moment, but I chose Poco launcher with the pixel icon over that gesture and hideous icons. So there was a lot of bloatware, so I uninstalled many of the apps like LinkedIn, Facebook, but there were a lot of Xiaomi apps that I could not uninstall or disable. I was getting notification from security that Get Apps app. Even I got a notification to free up my storage space. I just bought the device. Calm down, Xiaomi. So far, one thing was good. The phone was not getting hot or even warm while setting up the device, which usually not the case with every phone. So that was one good thing. Another thing that impressed me a lot was the haptic feedback. It is good. It is actually really good. But then I started using this device. After installing all my apps, I saw a lot of bugs. The skin is heavy, no doubt, but it was not slow. The problem was I was seeing a lot of frame drops in the animation, and there was a weird bug in the Poco launcher, and I'm not sure it's with the MIUI launcher itself. So whenever I close an application, you can see on the top left side, you can see that icon popping up for some reason. So every time I close any application, you can see that there. So I turned off every setting on the startup itself, but I went into the Poco launcher and a lot of settings like ads and recommendations. So I turned everything off. So far it has been good. I am not getting any sort of ads as such, but it's just been one day, so I will talk about ads and bloatware in my review itself. So far my experience with MIUI has been meh. Don't get me wrong, it's fast. The problem is the first impression of this MIUI was not very good because there were a lot of irritating bugs in it. Also, the RAM management is not very good, so I think you should opt for that 8GB version. I am not sure when they're going to update it, so I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. Also a tip, please install Google Keyboard or some other keyboard as soon as you try to input anything, because Xiaomi can store that data and send it to their servers. Now let's talk about the rest of the hardware. Snapdragon 870, UFS 3.1 and LPDDR5. On paper, it's a very capable phone. I did play a session of Call of Duty and it started to get warm from behind. I did see 2 or 3 frame drops, but nothing major. I did not feel that with my S20 FE 5G. Other day-to-day tasks are going to work perfectly fine. App open fast, and that 360 Hz touch sampling rate also shows. Sometimes it's really good that even if I try to bring the window down, sometimes gets down, sometimes it just moves right for some reason. Let's talk about that display now. It's a full HD panel with 120Hz refresh rate. It can go up to 900 nits in auto mode, and it can go up to 1300 nits while watching HDR content. I like this display. It just has a green tint while watching in low brightness, and you can feel this in many AMOLED. It was present in my last S20, but it's not present in my iPhone 12. So it depends upon display to display. Colors are good, viewing angles are good, and you have a lot of control over display calibration. I wish it was more bright in sunlight. According to the nit, it has to be brighter, but it is not. So I tried it in sunlight. It works okay, but it's not the very bright display I've used. It also has wideband L1 support, and you can also watch HDR content on Netflix, which is a good thing. It was missing on my S20 FE 5G. One another thing that I did not like about this phone is the sound quality. Yes, it has that stereo speaker and Dolby Atmos, and it gets really loud, but the problem is it gets distorted on the high volumes, and it also lacks bass. Not just that, the call quality was also not good. This is the first time after a very long time I was not able to hear what other person is saying. It also has Wi-Fi 6, but the range was also not very good, and there's no NFC support as well. And we are left with cameras. The reason it is in the end because my expectation from the camera was really low. It's an old sensor with no IS, 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, which is useless. I get that micro lens performs better than that. I did click some pictures, but I will make a dedicated camera comparison or review. Also, here is a video sample from front and rear. So I'm recording from the front camera. I'm recording at 1080p 30 frames per second. This can also record 1080p 60 frames per second from the front camera. But from the back, it only limited to 4K 30 frames per second. The sound is coming from the mic itself, so you can tell me. I'm outside, so you can see the ambient sound as well. So now I'm recording from Mi 11X. This is 4K 30 frames per second. This camera does not have OIS, so I'm gonna walk and you can see how the stabilization works, and the noise is coming from outside, so you can see how the recording works as well. So I'm just walking very normally. I can see some jitters in the video while walking. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. It's been just one day, so I can't comment on the battery life. It has that 33-watt charger, and I charge it from 30% to 100% in 35 minutes, which was good for me. And if you want any idea, it's going to give you around 6 hours of SOT with always on display enabled. So that was the overview of this Mi 11X. I really don't like the software, but I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to use it for a while. I might buy that iQOO 7 as well. I'm not really sure. Do let me know if you want that. And I still think that iQOO 7 is a better value than this phone. It lacks Wi-Fi 6, but I think most of the stuff is better in that phone. I know there are going to be a lot of Xiaomi fans which are going to tell me that install a custom ROM on because it's a good hardware. I get it, but 95% of people don't have time to install it, and most of them don't even know how to do it. If you have any questions or want a particular sort of video, you can write that in the comment box. Like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you care about the experience like me. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.